Birthday Hawa, birthday Hawa Shai, birthday Hawa, birthday Hawa Shai, call Allah Hawa, Allahina Yahweh Shem Shai, B'Shem Kakadash, bless you Most High Yahweh, bless you in the name of the only God and Son Yahweh Shai, in the name of Spirit Holy, and give a double honor to the elder apostles, the elder bishops, the great millstone who well. Shalom, B'Chasad, La B'Chayayim, Shal Yasha'Allah, peace and mercy to the election of the nation of Israel. Starting with the Ra'ashim, which are the Heats, and the elect prophets, 144,000 choice men, 12,000 choice men of each of the 12 tribes of Israel, which have been bestowed as truth to preach to the rest of the remnant of the 100 and to the remnant of the 1/3, pardon me, which shall receive the faith and be delivered. Men, women, and children whom are Israelites, who the Lord will have mercy upon. 2/3 will be cut off here and die here in America. Judgment, and we can clearly see that. And shalom to the Israelite foreigners that look like the heathen nations where they've been scattered to, but lineage go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So this is in a thing based on how you look. It's a thing of the spirit. It's a spirit bearing that with our spirit that we're the children of power. The Lord's words are spirit in their life, and we try the spirit by the spirit. So Shemiah Mafman is a Mappa from the Great Millstone Plaintables camp. Just come with this week lesson. So this is the hot news here in Philadelphia, and formerly called Killadell. You had a year where they used to kill so many cops. I'm gonna look that up quick here. What year was the most cop killings in Philadelphia? And let me see if I can find that. So you have it, officers involved in shootings by year. And you have it in 2023 alone. You have it as it appears, which they are defining it. So actually I should read this information. Now, this is good. Good read. Officer involved shootings. Philadelphia's more than 6,000 sworn police officers have taken an oath to protect and serve the city's residents. This is what I was thinking about. Because you would say, well, with this particular story, I believe it's said that the cop was possibly stopping a burglary or like a breaking in of a car. Someone basically trying to steal a car, Wicked Jake, and it basically turned into a shootout. But we'll get it confirmed as we go into the story. But their oath is, our promise is to protect and serve, as it says, the city's residents, workers, and visitors. All right. It is a policy and commitment of the Philadelphia Police Department that our officers hold the highest regard for the sanctity of human life, dignity, and people's liberty. The application of deadly force is to be employed only in the most extreme circumstances and when all lesser means of force have failed or could not reasonably be employed. So let y'all know what the commissioner says, right? you have it. When is deadly force used? Police officers respond to nearly 10,000 911 calls a day. Vast majority of these calls resort in providing service to a citizen. Unfortunately, when fulfilling our charge to serve and protect, officers sometimes find themselves engaged in dangerous situations resulting to use of deadly force. When deadly force is used, the shooting officer is removed from street duty, right? When the circumstance of the shooting of the officer's action undergo a thorough and unbiased review. All officers involved shootings are then forwarded to the DA to be reviewed. That'd be what? Krasner, Larry Krasner. The use of, which, a lot of people don't like, particularly here in Philadelphia, Larry Krasner, the current district attorney. They want this guy out of there. They got progressive DA will investigate. Let's see, I'm trying to find out something. But this ain't. Don't go by this. They call him a left-wing Democrat, Soros-funded district attorney. All right. Philadelphia was founded in 1682. And it says that Larry Krasner that the city would see such violence and bloodshed again. Now, after another death, this is a previous article as of 2022. Philadelphia vote for more crime. So, over 150 Philadelphians have been killed during the last 3 years. To help put that into perspective, 2041 or 417 Americans died in battle in 20 years in Afghanistan. So, pretty much they're saying that this place is more dangerous than being on a battlefield. Literally. Yeah. It's more dangerous to be walking about in Philadelphia than to be on a battlefield. And I could tell you, like, even the other day, I was doing some work, and you have a shooting in Alany section of Philadelphia, right? And a bus driver, I think he was driving paratransit or something like that. Look at this. Bus driver hurt while caught in a crossfire of a triple shooting. I'm going to play this.
In that second shooting that happened in Alney just hours after that first shooting, we do know that several people, 3 people, were injured, including a bus driver that was just driving people to get adult care. Meanwhile, this whole thing was caught on surveillance video. Take a look.
I just heard a bum 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 only something, and then I heard again bum 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 bum, and that's it.
3 people hurt and multiple Philly schools locked down after multiple suspects opened fire near Ashdale Street in Alney.
Yep, Ashdale Street, working right around there.
The second
same day
shooting in the area in a span of a few hours.
Never had anything like this ever happen around here.
Surveillance video.
Don't listen to her. Let me see what this block is. Yeah, that's that block. And
from a nearby store shows several people walking the streets, including children, possibly headed to nearby schools right before 9 a.m. All of a sudden, everyone disperses. We think this is the moment the shots are fired. Police say there were more than a dozen bullet shell casings found in the area. You see a shuttle bus make a turn and drive away from the scene. Notice there are two people running towards a man who then runs into an alley. As one person walks away, the second person raises their arm in a firing position in the direction of that alley. Then the two people run away. This is the same alley police found a 32-year-old man laying in moments later. They tell us he had gunshot wounds to his head and is critical at the hospital. He's one of possibly 3 victims in this shooting. Police say another victim was
I've been all in and out these alleys working.
the 56-year-old driver of a senior care transport bus, the same bus we saw in that surveillance. Police say there were 12 passengers aboard. None of them are injured. The injured driver kept going until coming to a stop by Roosevelt Boulevard,
Damn.
where he was taken to the hospital.
That look like mashing the boulevard right there.
He's
Yeah, that's
stable.
mashing the
A bus driver transporting members of the elderly community to a place where they can continue to get care, and this sort of things happen. It's certainly intolerable.
Officials tell us a third person also walked into the hospital with gunshot injuries this morning, who they believe may have been struck in the same shooting. He's also stable. Police.
This is around that area where 2nd and Ashdale, 5th Street, all that islandy area. So, like I say, you could just be in Philadelphia and a shootout could just erupt. You ain't got nothing to do with it, but a shootout would just come and you could be in the midst of it. Okay, so as it was written, if there's 1,500 people killed during the last 3 years, that's dating back to 2022, those 3 prior years, then in 20 years of battle in Afghanistan, so-called reported, then Philly is definitely more dangerous than a battlefield. This is a battlefield. Despite the high number of victims, Krasner is on record denying there was a crime crisis in the city. And that's just witchcraft. That's why nobody don't like, most people don't like him. Because it's like a lot of the agenda is pushing towards being less enforcement on these criminals, these wicked Jake out there running and ripping these streets. It says many of these deaths could have been avoided if, as this is going to say, Democrats actually cared about arresting criminals and holding them accountable instead of protecting them over people. His policies let criminals out of jail and back on the streets. Yeah, and they'll help get these guys jobs and everything. This would prove to be deadly, as many would go to hurt others again. Yeah, you have these career criminals. Criminals such as Jameer Harris and Lateef Williams are just 2 of many people whom Krasner released from jail who went on to slay more people. Right. So, a lot of these Jake, they just wicked out there. Okay? You have it that here, let's see. Krasner thinks that incarceration is a bigger problem than crime. His refusal to enforce the law rigorously against violent and career criminals, see, they talking like me, has been disastrous, and more people in Philadelphia would be alive if he could have never been elected. Yet the city overwhelmingly voted to re-elect him. That's because that's controlled. This raises important questions: how many people, more Philadelphians, must be killed before the city stops voting for these Democrat politicians? So you can see that this is more leaning towards Republicans. And you got different signs. They say fire Krasner. Yeah, different petitions. You got different things up there. He on pace for the highest homicide since 2007. They got PA House impeaches Philly prosecutor over policies. Alright, so they don't like this dude. as liberal as they say. And I'm just gonna bring out this scripture, and we'll continue on. Isaiah chapter 19 and 2, it says, "And I will set Egyptian against Egyptian, and they shall fight one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, a city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." All right, in modern day Egypt is America. You know, being is spiritually, as it tell you in Revelation, the 10th chapter, this is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. Alright, where the dead bodies of the Israelites would lie. I think that's 10 and, let me see, I gotta get it. Or 11 and verse 8. And their dead bodies, being the Israelites, being in a spiritually dead estate, shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where our Lord also was crucified. Lord has crossed that. Okay. This place is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. This is the place of the captivity of the Israelites. This is the place where the Israelites have went into slavery again by the way of ships. Okay. Going to Egypt again, as Deuteronomy 28 tells you. So this is Sodom, and we know about those different lewd acts. And we know this is the place of our captivity and the Israelites. And this is a place of double straits, okay? Look at it, you can't even walk about, you know, and you have all of this, you know, this Egyptian versus Egyptian. You got these Americans, they against one another and stuff, you know. So, hey, you know, this is all prophecy. You know, you're going to see where, you know, they, as it tell you, Isaiah, the 32nd chapter. So I'm bring this out. I tell you that the verse 5, Isaiah 32 and 5, the vile person shall no more be called liberal. Esau is vile. Nabal meaning foolish, senseless, wicked, stupid, impious person. Okay, that's Esau, Edom. All right, Krasner is a E of E. All right. Most of these people that's running things are of E. All right, George Soros is of Esau, Edom. All right, that lineage, which biblically is the wicked. And the earth isn't given unto the hand of the vile person shall no more be called liberal. All right. Nadayab goes into a free will, inclined to be generous, right? Willing. Okay, and you're gonna see things are gonna get brutal out here. Okay. Nor the churl said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak villainly, all right, or violently, folly, a crime, foolishness, moral wickedness, and in his heart will work iniquity in his mind, to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against the Lord Yahweh, and to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. All right. Point being, to practice hypocrisy. All right. And the Lord doesn't like a hypocrite, and definitely not a fool. Okay. So these people think that they're doing things better by taking Jake and running him in the street. It's the Lord is the one that's letting them out to do more wickedness so they can bring out the order out of chaos. Because we know that's what guys of the likes of George Soros want. Okay. the instruments of the also of the churl are evil. The instruments are obviously the thinkings, right? Which they bring up, you know. They would bring about. He devises wicked devices, right? The thoughts, which they come together and deliberate and bring together. Right? We'll let Jake out. He's a career criminal, but we'll let him out. Give him a second chance. And this Jake don't have no morals and no really thought to really want to reform. So Jake get out and they do worse. They learn more iniquity and wickedness in prison, come out of prison and go crazy, you know, in these streets. You see them shooting up, and you know, it's either the Jake already destroyed in the streets and haven't went to prison yet, or Jake went to prison and getting out and they running amok in the streets. All right. It says he devises wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. But the liberal devises liberal things, and by liberal things shall he stand. All right, and that's basically it. But people, they're gonna see and hate, and as you see what E is doing out here. Because especially when it comes to their own, but you got a lot of Jake that actually are Israelites. There's like foreigners that, you know, look like Esau, Edom, but they're actually Israelites. Go back to Italian, Irish, or whatever, you know, descent, but go back to Jacob, by the way, their fathers. Yeah, a lot of them are police, you know. You know, and hey, it's not, hey, I'm telling you as an Israelite myself, of the tribe of Ephraim, I don't want to be around these monsters. Okay, so dudes walking about with hoodies and stuff, shooting, and they can't shoot. Okay, they shooting and at each other, and like I say, they got like, you know, paratransit. They hitting paratransit vehicles. You know. Not to say that anybody innocent, perishing innocent, but you know, just look at it. You could be anywhere in the city, and like I say, a shootout can go out. You know, so just to show you how confused this place is. This is America. This is Babylon. America is Babylon the Great, and you have all sorts of confusion. All right, this is Isaiah 47:3. It says, "Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man." And the Lord is revealing the various sins, okay, of the Edomites, okay, because nakedness is, you know, goes with sinning, all right, as the children, play in Exodus, as it tell you that they are and they were naked. That's it. After they made the idol. This is Exodus chapter 32:23. For they said unto me, make us gods which shall go before us. For this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, ancient Egypt, we want not what become of him. And I said unto them, whosoever hath gold, let them break it off. So they gave it to me. Then I cast it into fire, and there came out this calf, which is idol. And when Moses saw that the people were naked, for Aaron made them naked unto their shame among their enemies. Right? They wasn't naked. They were in sin. All right, if you can understand. So, the nakedness of America is being seen because you have it here. As a resident of Philadelphia, I assure you that things are worse than they have ever been. Gas stations are hiring private armed security to protect their establishment from criminals. You have cheesesteak places that actually have. You have a Jim's West. Well, I'm gonna just show you Jim's West security, armed security. Yeah, you get like some of the different. Let me see. I gotta get like the news article. Right there, they got armed security. And that's what the time, like the time we got it, men gonna be invading one another, and you know, it's some savage times out here. Target by armed robbers. This is in the past. Who reportedly made off with $215, which is no money, in cash, stolen from the register. But for Jake out here that's starving and eat oodles and noodles, and they ain't used to working, actually working a real job. They see you as a, having a business as actual come up for them. Get it how I live, right? Well, who were in the store at the time? No injuries were reported in that robbery. So Jim's in 2015, they actually had a robbery basically incident going on. So they had returned, and now they got as after many years, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, recently reopened at 22nd and Noble, and now they got armed security. Former military, former off-duty cops and all of that at a cheesesteak place for food. And look at how Jake looked. Jake looked crazy. All these Israelites got dreadlocks, these heathen haircuts and dreadlocks. Alright? Through cheesesteak. Look, you see the guy right there. He got his gun. I think they keep a like an assault rifle or something like that, some type of rifle or machine gun and a pistol. See, yeah, man. And some people don't like it, but that's what these businesses are going to, because if you do have an incident, you call the police, you might not see them in time. They might not be able to respond to the call in time. So people are taking things and matter in their own hands. And like as the apostle elders have been saying, we already in the beginning phases of what? Of 2nd Esdras 15 and 16 chapter. Alright? And you could just cherry pick and jump around in 2nd Esdras 15 and 16. It talks about the things that are happening anew. Alright? The scriptures say in chapter 15 and verse 14, woe unto the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So you got people fighting one another with guns. Simple as that. Weapons that cause damage. For there shall be sedition, among men, and beating one another, they shall not regard their kings nor their princes, and the course of the action shall stand in their power. Okay? So this is uprising, against, the authority as you go into. Conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority or state or monarch. Alright? People are just like, man, forget the authorities. Let's do what we want to do. They're not going to help us. Then you just got beasts. They just, these very low beasts are dogs. They running about just doing what they want to do. It says, a man shall desire to go in the city and shall not be able. That's martial law, and that's quarantines, that's lockdowns. Okay? For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity on his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and great tribulation. Lack of having food. And lack of having food, hey, you mean you don't got no money, so they're going to come for yours. Okay? So you business owners, if you operate in business, the scriptures actually have some sound wisdom that basically, if you are, it does tell you that, if I can find that scripture, this is verse, 2 16 chapter in verse 41. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away. Merchants. Okay? You gotta be, oh man, damn. You see these business one day there and then they're gone. You gotta be like that in this type of time. And he that buyeth as one that will lose. Okay? He that occupieth merchandise as he that hath no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. So, it's like, lack of really security, lack of futures, to be in this type of set. That you ain't gonna get no profit. What's the reason to operate in business? He that soweth as he should not reap. He that planteth, invests, etc. So also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. So heavy times with these prophecies. Okay, so as you have it, the story which I was gonna cover before I went into this big thing about how the city is rough. You have it that let me get the other article of another news source. Philadelphia police was killed at a shooting at the Philly International Airport. Second officer wounded. Alright, officers approach, as it says, the Philadelphia police officer was killed late Thursday night, yesterday. And another was injured in a shooting inside a parking garage at the Philadelphia International Airport. Both officers just arrived to work at the airport when the interim commissioner John Schaffer says they came across a group of suspects attempting to break into a vehicle in a garage. Which you have it, these different crime rings, these organized crime rings where these guys are going at, basically getting these vehicles and stealing them, and they might ship them, overseas for whomever they working for or whatever. They just wicked. The officer, they get a certain amount for a certain vehicle, You know, it's just like literally that video game, Grand Theft Auto. The officer approached the suspect, who proceeded to open fire. One of the officers was shot. Well, or it says the officer approached the suspect, who proceeded. So as he approached them, then they started to shoot at him. Then one of the officer was shot multiple times in the torso, and the other was shot in his arm. Officer was shot multiple times, was rushed to Penn Presbyterian, where he was also pronounced dead at 10:30 or 11:30 p.m. You know, so that's within a half hour. You know, I would assume. You know, coming to work. And it says that the slain officer was a 22-year veteran of the police department. He was married with one child. Stanford described the killing as a numb moment for the department after 3 officers were injured in a shooting last week. Alright, so the times is rough. Watch your surroundings. Be very circumspect because things are going down. But if the people if the rulers of the earth is vile, you know these Jake gonna be vile too. It says this is Ecclesiastes Sirach chapter 10:1. It says a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of the prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what matter of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So the people are vile in this city. There's a vile man is of course ruling it, Esau. Alright. All this is one big city. Okay. The Golden City. Okay. An unrise king, you know, your authority, your politician, ruler, political leader, destroyed his people, but through the prudence of them that are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. Okay, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set it to one that is profitable. So, you know, we know that the earth been given in the hand of the wicked, and hey, because of the wicked ruling, you got all this wickedness being perpetuated out from them. Our own people are wicked. 2/3 of them got to get destroyed here in America, and they will be destroyed because one of them Jake got shot, and I believe got killed in that whole shootout with that police. All right, let me see. I gotta read. They shut down 95 over this crap. Black Don Durango. Well, you can look into the story. That's all I gotta say for now. Shalom to the all praise the Yahweh Shem Shai B'Shem Kakadash.